So, Sean, I did something, I don't know, a little weird. I have no idea why I did this, Sean. I'm not, I hate bugs for the most part, and I don't know what made me possessed to this. Do you guys have stink bugs over there?
The stink bugs, those green ones.
Ours are brown.
Looks like
there are green variation, but ours are brown.
I think we have both.
Okay.
But
we do as well.
I think the inner child of you, the curiosity of the world, was the reason behind this.
I think you're probably right. Okay. One, I have killed multiple in my office, and I don't kill. The proper way to get rid of them so you don't smell them is to flush them down the toilet. Which then when I flush them down the toilet, I'm always like, am I drinking them at some point down the road? Like, I don't know. Anyways, just a thing to think about. So I was like, that bastard, another one, and I had an empty water bottle. So I caught the damn thing in the water bottle. That's right. Yep. Put him right in there, closed him up. I was like, then I gave him the middle finger, and I was like, there you go. You're going to stay in there until I'm going to see what happens to you. So he hung out in there. The next day, he's still just crawling around in there. Seems just fine to me. And so I'm like, gosh, that guy's got a good life. Anyways, and then I look up, and there's a freaking spider up above. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get that spider in that bottle, too. I have no idea why.
Come here.
I have no idea why you should. I mean, this is the stupidest thing. I had a coworker give me like, "What's in the bottle?" I'm like, "You don't want to ask. Just don't know. Just don't even ask." It's just gonna make you wonder about like my entire mental health. But anyways, I got the spider in there too. Let me tell you. If you're interested at all, the science experiment went south real quick. The spider walked up to the stink bug. They looked at each other. Then the stink bug kind of flapped its wings and freaked out the spider. And by the next day, that spider was dead. I think they had a knife fight while I was asleep, not at the office. And that spider did not win. And that freaking stink bug was walking around like, yep. Who's next? Like a Roman slave, like bring somebody else in my Colosseum.
Sparta! Are you not entertained?
I mean, seriously, if he would have had like one of those little like Roman straps on or something, I'd be like, oh crap, he doesn't need to die. But anyways, Spartacus did go Friday, so it took a full 3 days. I'm assuming he probably should have ate. That's probably what did him in. So
yeah,
a full 3 days. I came in there and he was still alive, but he looked drunk, and I knew he hadn't drank anything. So that was the end of him. Then he died. Yeah, he died later that day. Rest in peace. He
did die. It is day 3 inside the bottle. The large human gave me a spider for entertainment. I killed the spider as a proclamation to the giant human, but he did not give me food. Was he not pleased? This might be my last entry.
This is so good. I feel like there's gonna be like some kind of like stink bug diaries that come out of this. This is the best. Anyways, so yeah, the things you do at your office, why not, right? Like,
some people just like make a basketball hoop for the bin and throw like rolls of paper into it. No, you full on go Animal Crossing versus Hunger Games.
I'm like freaking Blathers. You're right. You mentioned that in the Discord. That's 100% true. Listen, I could pay like $100 to like have somebody spray insecticide in the office, or I could just trap them in bottles, and that's free. So there you go.
Yep.
I'll let you know what happens if that. Let you know if there's phase 2 of this, but at the moment I don't really have plans for that. So there you go. Anyways, that's my insect story for the week. So welcome to Everyday Life, Dad Crossing, everybody. So thanks for tuning in. This is the bug section. What is it? What's this? What's the scientific word for? Is it an entomologist? What's that? I don't know. I don't know either.
you want the scientific word for somebody that deals with insects?
Yeah, it's like studies bugs. He's definitely not. He's going through an encyclopedia. He is definitely not typing on ChatGPT right now.
I can't spell, so don't worry about me trying to use ChatGPT. What's the name for Simon who studies insects? Why didn't just put bugs? I had to go for the.
I feel like it's entomologist.
It is entomology. Look at that. You know your ologists.
I know my ologists, at least that one. That one and theologists. I know those two. Excuse me while I strip
What
down.
does
It is way
theologist do?
hotter up down here than I assumed it would be.
Oh, you got a heating on?
No, I don't think we do. No. I'm not sure. It shouldn't be hot down here because this is normally the time of the year where it's cool.
It's been a nice couple of days in the UK, like for the last week. I mean, hitting the highs of 24 degrees Celsius.
Oh,
which
boom.
I mean, it's pretty warm. It almost forced me to not wear a hoodie. So there's that. And Lindsay has been sleeping in 2 blankets and the duvet, and insists that I keep the window closed because she is freezing. She's literally freezing to touch. So, yeah.
So 75. Yeah, so we've been real close. So 24 is 75 degrees for you. Yesterday we almost hit 90. We were like a high 80. It was a saucy day. And then today it's like 50. So I don't really know what that is. So
welcome to the world of being poorly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's what happens.
But I don't know what else been going on in your life, Sean, this week. This great.
Not much. I got my new car yesterday.
Is it as cool as you hoped it would be?
Yes, it's a lot of fun. It's
so fun.
Scarily quick.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever owned a car other than my first car, which was given to me by my dad for a while. I've never owned a car that is as quick as that from 0 to 60. Like, yeah.
Sweet.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's
a nice car. It's very nice. I haven't yet taken a picture of it. The story of it getting delivered was I finished my last night shift. It was getting delivered on Friday at like 7:45 in the morning, which was fine because I'd have got home. I'd have taken Lindsay to work in her car, got back home. I could have been giving Logan his breakfast and getting him sorted for school as they delivered the car, and like we did the handover kind of thing. So as I'm heading for the shower at work at like 20 to 7, I get a text saying, "Oh, we're setting off early from Leeds. We'll be 45 minutes." And I was like, "Oh, crap. That's really going to nagger things up." So I got home, like flew home, pulled up on the drive. Lindsay and Logan came out of the house, and I was like, "We need to be really quick because like the car could be here in like the next 10 minutes." As we're driving off the estate, literally drive past my car driving on. It's like, that's my car. So spun the car around. Lindsay dropped me off. She then took her car, and luckily they brought it and it was almost fully charged. It had like 207 miles of charge left, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
So took Logan to school in it, and then I took it and took Lindsay's grandma shopping. So she was like the first official passenger for a ride out.
What did grandma have to say?
She liked it.
Yeah.
So, but I think she's one of those. It's one of those instances where no matter what car I turned up in, she would say, "This is lovely," because she gets to go out and do shopping. So she's grateful for that. So great. But she's also grateful because at the beginning of the week, I had an absolute, I wouldn't say nightmare, but it wasn't a nice job. One of her drains from her house wasn't running very well. So like from the kit, luckily, it does go south from here, but luckily the kitchen drain, so where all like a wash bowl and the washing machine all came into the drain on the outside, it was running slow. So like when she was emptying a washing bowl and stuff, it was kind of coming over, spilling out, sitting on the dry for a bit, and then gradually would just go away.
Okay.
So I went and borrowed my dad's drain rods. He had 4 lengths. I think they're like in meter lengths. So he had 4 lengths, so 4 meters. And I thought, that'll be enough. That'll be fine. So I turned up to Grandma's house. Like, couldn't get on the drive because one of her neighbors had somebody visiting and they were using her drive, which is fine. But if I'd have parked on the drive, I'd have been over the manhole cover that I needed to be in. So left the car on the street. But while I did that, I kind of like reversed onto one of her neighbor's drive. And he's quite nosy. He's like stood in the window and he's giving it all like looking out the window and staring at what I'm doing.
It's the best.
So it's like I waved and I drove, and they know who I am because I go most weeks to take a shop, so everybody knows who I am. So like I park the car on the street, take all the tools, I walk down the drive, and he's now like coming out of the front of the house with a sweeping brush to like sweep his drive. So I set up around the manhole cover, and Lindsay's grandma comes out and she's chatting away to me, and she's like, "Oh, he's out. Look at that. He's already out. He's already out nosy, and he's like that." So like typical like elderly curtain twitching kind of stuff. It's funny, but at the same time, it's like she can be as bad as the other people for staring at what's going on. Yeah. Like she can give you a full rundown of everything that's going on. So like, so I chat away, and I think like I got the drain cover lifted, and she goes, "Right, okay, I'll leave you to it now because the smelly part's starting." So off she went. And like he stands at the end of the drive as I'm starting to put these rods in, and I'm like waving at him and stuff, and he doesn't ask anything, doesn't say anything. Then like I look over my shoulder to see where he's gone, and he's disappeared. I was like, "Oh, okay, fair enough. He got bored." Like I got all 4 lengths of this drain rod in, and I'm having to like lean in to the manhole a little bit because I haven't got enough length. Go figure. And as I'm doing it, I hear water, and I'm like, "Huh, maybe I've hit it." And then all of a sudden, there's like 4. Did I send you the video?
No, I don't have a video. I don't think.
No, okay, I'll send you the video to this. But like, it's just there's like. Getting about this 1, 2, 3. There's 4 drains, all like 4 culverts, all come to this one manhole, then down to the main drain.
Oh yeah, okay. All right. I see where you're starting. I was about to ask that question, but I kind of get the layout of what's happening here more now.
Yeah. So like, the one that comes, there's like one right in front of me that comes from her, the one that I'm working on, and then there's one that comes from her bathroom, and then there's one that comes from her neighbor's bathroom, I'm assuming, and then this other one that comes from the guy who was staring at me on the drive. So I hear water running, and I'm like, "Oh, where's that coming from?" Then all of a sudden, just a turd floats past me. Just kind of, I'm like, that absolute jerk. He knew I was doing this, and he couldn't have waited. And I was just,
dude, that got way better than I thought. I mean, I was prepared for so much, but never was I prepared for that. That was grand.
So that goes past, and then. Like, in disgust, I'm like, this is awful. I'm going to have to take these drain rods out and, like, try and get them from the other end if I can. And as I'm, like, taking them out, and they've got to have a bend on them to come out, one of the metal screw parts snaps.
Oh, no.
And obviously the rod's under tension as it snaps, and it just slaps into all the mucky ones, splashes all up me. So I'm like, this is not going well. So,
did you get Grandma's drain hole figured out?
I got it.
Sounds weird when I say it like that.
By. Yeah, I know. I kept saying to Lindsay, "Don't forget tomorrow I'm off to go rod your grandma's drain out." And she's like, "Can you not say that? Can you please not say that?" So yeah, I ended up having to go buy some more drain rods because I couldn't. I then from 4 meters down to 3 meters. So I went and bought some more. They were like £25, which wasn't too bad. So I ended up with like 11 meters in total, which did the whole thing. And the stuff that I was getting out of her drain was literally just things like grease and oils and like washing machine waste. So like fluff and stuff like that. And it must have just been a congealed mess of fluff and grease and fat.
Fatberg, that's what we call it over here.
Yeah. So, well, while I was there, I was like, might as well do a proper job at it. So I cleared all hers completely, flushed it all through. And then I was like, right, I'll start like at a high pressure hose and just start like high pressure hosing up everybody else's just to run it clear. Because I was like, the last thing I want to do is block everybody else's because I've unblocked this one. So I kind of cleaned everything and blasted it all through, made sure that nothing backed up. So I did a proper job of it.
Nicely done, sir.
But yeah.
Nicely. I am a little, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little mystified. So like from the driveway, you would never be able to see anything in an American system. Like it's all completely encapsulated in like normally like a 4 to 6 inch pipe, depending on how big the residential system is. So I'm a bit mystified. Like I will probably go and like search the UK plumbing system for residential homes because you would never be able to see anything. It would all be completely encapsulated.
So. Yeah. So to describe it, it comes out of her kitchen wall, and there's just two little like plastic drain pipes that angle down to a drain cover.
Mhm.
So they'll soak away from whatever they need to soak away from the waste pipe, and they're a bit open ended into this drain cover, and then the drain is encapsulated, and the pipe work is encapsulated. But every now and then there's a manhole cover. When you pop it open, instead of it being a completely round pipe, it's just like a half pipe.
Okay. And that's so
And
you
they
can
all
do
call it-
exactly kind of what you just did.
Yeah, so you're not having to break into a bit of pipe to kind of unblock it.
That actually
sort of
makes a
thing.
lot of sense, really. We don't, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not a plumber. But I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff be done for homes we're building. We don't have anything like that to the best of my knowledge. We have to clean from the inside out to try to unblock something, and if it can't, then you get to dig. So
Yeah. So I've just sent you the video. So if you look on your over screen where you normally have Discord open, you might see the video. I mean, play it if you want to play it, but if
sure.
you don't want to
Oh
play
my
it,
gosh,
then don't.
everybody can see it because when I lift up whatever, then I can see the other part of Discord. Here you go, people. Here, I'll get rid of the thing for you, just so that you can, everybody. Here, man, you're getting full UK deal. Yeah, we have nothing like that at all. That's a very interesting system.
Yeah.
So if you
But it
normally listen
works
to this and
because-
you're like, man, I really would love to see what that's all about, go on our YouTube. It'll be there. You'll get to see the little video of what it's like. Right around 16 minutes, I would imagine.
Yeah. So then it goes back into one big pipe that's encapsulated. That goes to the road, to the center, and then that's when it joins the main sewage stuff. Well, that is then all encapsulated.
If you only had like a little like net device where you could have caught the turd and then like knocked on the guy's door and been like, hey, you lost this.
Yeah. I was just because Lindsay's dad rang me and he was like, hey, how's it going? And this was literally just after that had happened, and I was like, you cannot believe what it's just. I get that people would need to use the toilet, but he'd kind of think, this is going to go where this guy's got his head. Maybe I shouldn't do this.
Oh no, he was like, man, he probably went in there and ate some oats as quick as he could just to get what he needed to get done. He's like, oh, I'm not ready yet, but I'm gonna get myself there.
Yeah, have a half pint a gallon. What? A half pint of prune juice.
Yeah,
just to get things going.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I have my mom has a neighbor similar to that kind of is the nosy neighbor of the street, and that keeps an eye on everything, and then like calls her about all this stuff that doesn't matter. Like he'll be like, hey, we've got a package on your porch, or hey, but then like when something serious happens, like she had gas siphoned from her car, and so she's like, hey, so and so, did you happen to see anything? He's like, oh yeah, there was a guy wandering around your house with a cigarette in his mouth. He was like, yeah. My mom's like, that's the thing you don't tell me. Okay, great, thanks. So yeah, there you go.
So no, that's, I think the new car highlight to end the week. Drain and blocking was definitely the low point at the beginning of the week.
I would say so.
Everything in between was kind of just like, yeah. I did that Tuesday. What did I do Tuesday? I think all I did was hang out at home, and I went to the gym Tuesday. Wednesday, I was at work. Thursday night, I was at work. And then today, it's been Saturday, which is rare. We don't normally record on Saturday evenings. It does feel like there's been more than a week between us, so between episodes, which is pretty good. But because yesterday was just a complete write-off for me, like sleep-wise, I think I got an hour and a half inside of 2 days. So,
yeah, no, I totally get it. So for me, life was kind of just a little like whatever happened, and then Thursday night, man, we got hit with some, I don't know what people call tornadoes anymore. I never know if it's an actual tornado or just like they have this word that wasn't a term when I was a kid, I don't believe. I never heard it, but like straight line winds. They call it a couple different things. I don't know. But we had a lot of high winds. And so my grandmother lost a couple of trees, and my office didn't have power. which didn't really work out well because my plan was to like drop off the kids, and then we had field day, which is kind of a last of the day, like kind of an event right at the end of summer, right before they leave, where they all get to go out and do these little things. And I had volunteered for that, but I couldn't do anything at the office, so I basically just hung around the office for an hour and a half before I went back to field day. I was in charge of the tug of war section, which is always kind of fun. I really do like doing that section because you just kind of watch it's K through 7th grade for us, so you kind of just watch the kiddos play around on the thing, and then you goof around with them, do boys versus girls, and blah 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 blah. Anyways, and then if that was done, I had to wait to pick up the kids. So I was like, well, I'm not going back home. So then I just like went back to the office and goofed around. I did go to my grandmother's, take some drone shots though, which I sent to you. They were of these 2 big trees that fell, which my grandma still doesn't have power. I was like 2, so they're going on like 48 hours. So, but yeah, it's been interesting. But so that was unexpected. Cleaned the eaves. That was probably my most disgusting task. It doesn't live up anywhere near yours, Sean, but that was definitely my most disgusting task. I took off one of the gutters, and I really thought, as I was like moving stuff from the top or from the bottom, I was just like, because I pulled off the spout and I'm just kind of moving stuff out of the way, and I really thought it was going to be super clogged, like all the way through, so that the water wouldn't start coming out. So I just like pushed the stuff out. No, it was just like barely clogged, but there's apparently holding back a lot of water, because the moment I did that, it just went crazy, and I was in an unfortunate position right under it, and got doused with gutter water. So that was less fun, but yeah. So yeah.
A shower as nature intended it.
Yeah, I guess so. Why not? Why not, Sean? I agree. Just recently, like literally right before this podcast, probably one of the funniest things that happened this week, kid related. So Ariel had a tournament, not a tournament, just a soccer game. Sorry, had a soccer game away. And, you do those games that are like at 3:00 and then they get done at like 4:30, and then it's like everybody's hungry and you're like, man, I don't have anything that I can just make. And so then you end up going through the drive-thru and spending more money than you really want to spend. And Ariel does have a tournament next weekend, so I know that we're spending money on food next weekend. So I really was like, all right, let's try to avoid that this weekend. So I threw some pork in the slow cooker, and I just made pulled pork. But, if you're from the South or St. Louis or whatever, I understand it's not like proper pulled pork. Okay, so don't come after me. But it's good anyways. And you just throw some barbecue sauce on it, and boom. Sweet Baby Ray's, personally. That's my favorite. If y'all have a favorite, let me know. So that said, and we like to have it over potatoes, right? Well, I don't know if you ever like do this hack where you like throw a bunch of potatoes into a plastic bag, like a plastic grocery sack. You can throw it in the microwave. That way, the plastic bag holds the condensation, which keeps the potatoes moist, but then they cook in like no time. Not as good as a roasted potato. I'm not saying that, but I didn't have time to sit there and oven roast potatoes for an hour because we needed to eat ASAP. So you throw them in the microwave for 10 minutes. You got like five good sized potatoes. We do that. Noah's like, we've all ate, and Noah's like, hey, I'd like some more. I was like, okay, you can have another half potato. That's it. Okay, yeah, great. All right. So he goes. He's like in there, and I'm hearing. He's like, Dad, I can't cut this potato. I'm like, well, come here. And so he comes there, and I'm looking at the potato, and it's like really hard. I'm like, wow. I was like, we all ate a potato. It was not that bad. I don't know why this one's so hard. I was like, well, go try another one, and then I'll make some more. So he goes, tries another one. No, Dad, I got it cut, but it still seems really hard. I'm like, okay, bring it here. And brings it to me. I feel it. I'm like, no, that's like a raw potato. And so he like goes back to the thing, and as he goes back to the counter, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just make more because I only had made 5. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just make more. I don't know what happened to those. And he's like, hey, Dad, yeah? Am I supposed to pick out of the potato sack or the plastic bag? And I'm like, no, definitely supposed to pick out of the plastic bag. He's like, oh, yeah, I haven't been doing that. I was like, yeah, That's why they felt raw, because they're literally raw potatoes. It was just really funny. Love those moments.
I felt like you were going to say you like picked up some kind of stone, but no, just a raw potato.
Nope. There's this plastic bag of like cooked potatoes, and then there's a very much like a store-bought potato sack of raw potatoes. They're both sitting right next to each other, and there you go.
Have you managed to play anything recently?
Or
are you kind of like on pause now until the Switch comes out?
I'm not gonna lie, I somewhat feel that way. But I am still on the Tears of the Kingdom kick. Not near as I just haven't really had a ton of time. I've probably gotten about a couple hours of that, and the first hour earlier in the week we did a lot. It was really great. Got a bunch of stuff. This last hour, I just felt like I kept hitting my head on stuff that I couldn't beat or kept kicking the crap out of me. We made it to the Korok forest. I fell in this hole. There were guys with these freaky arms kept coming after me. I couldn't figure out how to kill them. And they're like long arms, and the hands have eyes. And they're like the red.
They come out of the ground.
Yeah. They kept eating me.
Oh yeah, that stuff. Unless you've got like decent buffs, lots of and very strong weapons, they are quite difficult.
Yeah. So I was like, well, no, we out. So then I found this other cave. Well, I'm trying to go to the second, I think, the second regional phenomena. And as I'm going there, then we found this other cave with the what are those people called? The ones that disappear and come back. I can't remember. Anyways, they were in the Breath of the Wild too. You'd fight them. It starts with a Y. It's not in my head. Anyways, and then I found them, and there were two of them in there, and they were like, "You won't get our treasure unless you fight us." And that's where I finally I started to watch something, because they kicked the crap out of me like 4 times. So doing that. But on top of that, that aside, it did remind me, Sean, I am in the 4K era. I know everybody else is already moving on to the 8K era. I get that. I understand. I fully embrace the fact that I am the last man to the party. But I'm here, and just actually having a TV that's not 10 years old is actually really fantastic. It has 4 HDMI inputs, Sean.
Oh,
4.
My word.
Yes, and one of them won't have to be taken up by a Roku because it's a smart TV, and all the stuff's already in there.
Nice.
I'm telling you, Sean, I don't know, like I'm a millionaire or something when I turn on the TV now. But yeah.
Welcome to the future.
Yeah, I mean, legitimately, did I want a 4K TV so I could see all the cool stuff on the Switch? Sure did. That was not the main reason when I started to think about things. When I want to play the Xbox, I have to unplug from the back of the TV the Switch and plug in the Xbox. So as I started to think about it now, I'm going to have to do that between the Switch 2, and the Xbox all the time. And I was like, wow, that sounds really awful. Yep. Plus, our remote's dying in the Roku, so I was going to have to buy a new Roku anyways. And ironically, a Roku costs I don't know, fifth of the price of the TV, because I got one of those Amazon Fire TVs on sale. And it's 8 inches bigger.
And I bet it's 8 inches bigger, but it doesn't have the surround, so it generally looks bigger because it'll be an edge-to-edge screen.
Well, our old one was actually edge-to-edge too, so they are pretty close. I will say I replaced the one upstairs to the one downstairs, and I really was like, well, we'll do it because it's a newer TV. Because the one that I replaced was probably 20 years old. I mean, the old TV was 10 years old, but the old TV was 20 years old. But it was still a flat screen. And I told Beck, I was like, well, I was like, that one downstairs is more 50, maybe even a little bit bigger. I was like, but this is a nice TV, so we'll do it. I measured it. Heck no, it's 42 inches, just like the one that replaced it. It's just, like you said, it's got the bevel all the way around it. That's 4 inches all the way around. And it weighs 3 times as much as the old TV, too. That sucker was just a beast picking it up. So, yeah. So it's been cool. It was a cool upgrade. The whole family's still trying to get used to it. We turned on the Switch, and it just automatically went over to the Switch, and Noah was like, oh, I don't have to try to find the input anymore. So yeah, all those things.
See, ours only has 3 HDMI inputs. One's got the Amazon Fire Stick in, even though it's a smart TV. The fire sticks are better quality than the inbuilt stuff for me. And then it's got two other ones, which one is the Skybox, which always stays plugged in because I have learned if I unplug it and plug it back in, the box has an absolute fit and then doesn't record my Formula One, which then I get very upset because then I can't watch it. So the other one is just flick between the Series X and the Switch, and that's just what it'll do.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, so that's been good. But Sean, what I want to hear from you before, because we're right at 30 minutes now. But before we go, I gotta hear, you're dooming it up. You're hanging out in hell. I gotta know about this.
I ground Fortnite to the point where I've almost finished the battle pass for the Star Wars season. I think like what I'll get now is just through playing with Logan, but I got most of it done. And then I attempted to try and do some last night. I turned the Xbox on and I kind of looked at it and I was like, no. So I had some, excuse me. Oh, I had some time this afternoon. I had like 3 hours spare this afternoon. While Lindsay was sunbathing, Logan was out with his pals, and Emily was at the skate park. So I thought, perfect. I'll close the curtains, dark the room down, and play it. It's amazing.
Nice.
It's not as horrifically fast paced as Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, but the parry system with the shield and then the like comboing, throwing the shield like to stun enemies and shoot other enemies until the shield comes back and then parry, very good. And yeah, it's interesting. I've done the. I think I'm. Does it tell me? I've got pause on the screen at the moment. I think I'm at like chapter 7 of 22 now. I've done the mecha, so like I've done the massive, big, huge Doom guy. That's a lot of fun. The level I'm doing at the moment is the one with the dragon.
Ooh, fun!
Which is a lot of fun. And they've done that really well. The aerial combat with the dragon's pretty good.
And that's new, right? That's never been done before. That kind of aerial.
That's never been done before. No. Yeah. But yeah, it's good. I'm doing the painstaking task of making sure I'm 100% in each level.
Ooh,
as I go
look at
along.
you.
Yeah, it saves me having to go back.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but yeah, I like it. The soundtrack is fantastic. So, the Friday when it got released, I was at work Friday morning, and it got released. I took my iPad and my controller with me to work. So I was going to say, I'll try and do it on the xCloud. Yeah, I'll try and do it like that. I didn't get the time, but I had some time where I had to do some paperwork, and the soundtrack was released by. Let me get this right. Oh, what are they called? Something. It's not by Mick Gordon this time. It's not by him. It's done by somebody else. Finishing Move Incorporated. They've done the soundtrack. It's fantastic. So I kind of stuck the soundtrack on and listened all the way through it, and it's a very good soundtrack. It runs very well with the game, and they've done the original thing where the game kind of can loop certain sections depending on what's happening in the game for each song. But it's very, very good. I enjoy it.
No, that's not my genre. Are those well-known? Is that a well-known band?
I don't think so. I've never known them.
Okay, all right. I just didn't know. That's cool. That's cool that they, gave somebody an opportunity to, become, to get their name out there, basically.
Yeah.
And my only other question for you that I had, just watching stuff about it and blah, blah, blah. Did you usually fight in Doom like these really large, like, bosses? Because I don't ever remember seeing that kind of trailer when I would watch it. The trailers really kind of look Monster Hunter-y almost to me. Like obviously they look like Doom, but in the sense of like in those Monster Hunter trailers, you're like this dude, and this monster's like huge, like towering over you.
Originally, there was only like the Hell Knight that was quite big, and the the ones with the big cannons on their arms. I can't remember all the names of them now.
Sure, yeah.
And like the Mega Knight and stuff like that, they were really big. But in this one, there is more larger enemies that you come up against often.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But it does have that medieval, like all the scenery and stuff around you does have that medieval feel to it. And the story's really good. I'm going to be interested in finishing the story and then seeing where it fits in the Doom franchise and timeline, because as it stands now, you are being used by the Sentinels as a weapon, which is somewhere between Doom 64 and Doom 2016. Because in Doom 64, he gets entombed. He finishes in the pits and he gets given the powers of like godlike powers. And in Doom 2016, they unearth him from below some place that they find with a UAC, and Samuel Hayden takes him over. But at the moment, you are kind of tethered by the Sentinels and controlled by them. But there's like cutscenes where they're struggling to harness back the powers of the Doom Slayer, because he comes from the Doom guy to the Doom Slayer in 64. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, it's a good story. I didn't realize that it was such a massive lore and a story. I just enjoy playing the games and
yeah, I remember. I didn't either until you sent me that video from that one dude that was breaking it down. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's good fun. I'm itching to play more, but I can see it. Like each level's taking me roughly around an hour.
Gotcha.
Roughly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's because I'm making sure I'm checking the map and getting everything, but. I can see this lasting a while, and if they bring any DLC out for it, that'll be interesting as well. So,
I have.
Well, I know they're going to bring DLC out. It's sat there already on the screen telling me to purchase the premium one to get all the DLC and everything. So,
sweet. Well, all right, Sean. I think that's an everyday life. I do have to mention, we are just 19 days away from this recording. By the time you hear it, people, we will be 14. We will be 17 days away from Switch 2. That's how I go out right there.
Just over 2 weeks. Over 2 weeks. Wow. Anyway, join us on Wednesday when our next episode drops. A bit of a hot topic that you pointed out about Type C parenting. So usually there's Type B, usually there's Type A. You know, Type A will be the super planned, neat, tidy. Type B is the meh, life is what life is kind of thing. And they think what they're saying now is that Type A plus Type B gives you Type C, and there's a crossover of those parents. So we're going to talk about that, and we're also going to talk about which kind of parent we are. So join us on Wednesday for that. And until then, bye.
See you later, guys.